Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, please kindly like, subscribe and share. If you are a returning subscriber, how are you doing? Good to have you. This is Express and Redefine by Your Voice, our mission where we use real stories to impact our lives. So what do I have for you guys today on Express and Redefine? I'm the only one on the talk show today. You are my special guest. Yes. So today I told you guys earlier we'll be bringing in stories sometimes of people that have gone through certain situations and their stories can be of help to people out there. So today I'm going to be dealing on a sensitive topic, fibroid. Yes, I know a lot of women are dealing with fibroid and some people don't even know how to handle it. Some people are looking for people that have gone through those situations that they are in to be able to share so they can relate and they'll come out of it. It's really not easy. I'm sending out my love to every woman out there that is going through fibroids, that's making her feel so weird, making her feel not herself. My love to you. I pray God heals you and stretch forth his hand to heal you. So today I'm going to read through a very long story of a lady that went through fibroid. And literally what she says is the aftermath of fibroid surgery that nobody talks about. So she is sharing the aspect of fibroid that nobody says. Let's dive into the story and let's hear what she has to say about her fibroid journey. Getting fibroid was one of the worst things that has ever happened to me, and I've been through some shit. It was sometimes in August or early September 2017. I went to bed in my apartment and woke up the next day with a lump-sized basketball at the lower part of my abdomen. Honestly, it still upsets me when I think about it. I pressed on it and then showed my then boyfriend who was dressing for work. I pointed to it and asked, "What is this?" He looked at the bulge and shrugged, but I could tell in his eyes that he was worried. Because I was having some digestive issues, I went to the gastrologist who ordered me to a colonoscopy. It came back clear. Next, I went to the orthopedist, thinking I had a ton of muscles at pole dance class or from hanging crunches at the gym. I showed him my stomach, which had become distended from bloating. This is another side effect for fibroid, but I didn't know it then. "I've seen worse," he said, before declaring me injury-free. "You don't understand," I told him. "My stomach is usually flat. Like my stomach is so flat I usually see my pelvic bone. This isn't normal." He looked at me like I was being vain. I was a freelancer at that time without medical insurance and didn't have the financial or emotional ability to keep going to the doctor who insisted I was okay and I was clearly fine. It was a community that I had begun visiting that recommended a gynecologist to me. He studied the lump in my belly. "It looked like where the uterus is," he said. I was so embarrassed to say that I hadn't realized. It seemed so obvious once I heard it. I was pissed that none of the specialists I had visited earlier has ever suggested this. The ultrasound revealed that I had 3 fibroids. "You are thin, which is probably why you feel the biggest one," the doctor said. "Typically, we find them in women who are overweight or obese." By 2022, the 3 fibroid I had started out with had morphed to 22. My uterus had gone to the size of a woman in her second trimester. Fortunately, by then I had insurance and elected to have myomectomy to remove them. "You must be so relieved," people kept saying to me once I was home from the hospital. "You must be glad it's over." What is? While statistics vary wildly, between 10 to 15% of up to 84 women experience a reoccurrence of fibroid between 5 to 10 years after having surgery. By some miracle, I found an credible surgeon at NYU, Lagone, who removed my fibroid without the massive bilateral incision another surgeon in Connecticut insisted was my only option. A thought leader on the subject, she encouraged me to remain active while recovery, basically walk around. And within 2 weeks, I was given clearance to slowly start working out again. After about a month, the bulk of swelling had gone down, and by month 2, I was starting to look like my old self again. Still, I didn't feel like my old self. That was twofold because, for one thing, is I hadn't been my old self since 2017 and had nearly forgotten her. Secondly, I lived with fibroids so long that being without them felt jarring. I don't mean to say that I miss them. Rather, it was like being in a bad relationship that someone learns and gets used to it. When you leave it, you are not sure who you are or even feel safe to figure that out. I can't touch my stomach. I told my therapist when we were discussing the matter, I still won't do exercise that requires me to lie face down. What are you afraid of? She asked. I told her I wasn't sure, but the truth is, I didn't want to say. As someone with intense anxiety, speaking what I fear has been a lifetime struggle. It's like there is a part of me who genuinely feels I'll sometimes speak scary things into existence. I took my therapist back in 2017, trying to describe what the first morning I became aware of them was like. I was so shocked and there was no immediate answer or help. I had to sort of separate myself from what was happening to get through it. We discussed how the visibility of fibroid has impacted my issues with food and my body, the way they impacted how I felt, what I did or no longer did. There were clothes I could no longer wear, fitness classes I could no longer take, and food I could no longer eat, as I had the hope that I could somehow special diet fibroid away. I felt powerless about them and had done awful things to my body in the last 5 years, trying to retain some sense of control. The nights are worse, I confided after a bit. I just kept thinking to myself, you went to sleep one night, normal, and then this terrible thing happened. There isn't much literature about PTSD when it comes to fibroid, but there is some when it comes to cancer survivors. According to American Cancer Society, 1 out of 3 survivors meet the criteria for mental health condition. Some of the symptoms include anxiety, hypervigilance, avoidance of things associated with the diagnosis or treatment. My therapist acknowledged the ordeal I had been through, explaining that it was normal to feel anxious about the ideas of ever going through it again. She challenged me to take small steps into becoming reacquainted with my body, resting my hands on my lower belly for 5 minutes when I could, and eventually performing a Superman, that is an exercise that requires you to lie down on your stomach. Meditation, deep breathing, and asking my friends not to ask whether I was still okay when I mentioned a doctor's visit helped. With time, my anxiety lessened. Let me go over that again. Meditation, deep breathing, and asking my friends not to ask if I was okay anytime I visited the doctor helped. With time, my anxiety lessened. Although I'm 2 years out of myomectomy, I still sometimes panic about it, periodically having to mute or unfollow social accounts I follow on the subject. While I'm passionate about other women being knowledgeable and proactive about fibroids, there is still a lot of misinformation and fear surrounding them, the latter of which I completely understand. I have no regrets having the surgery. It changed my life for the better, but I have come to accept that it couldn't remove all the shame and worry having the condition left me with. Like anyone who survived anything, it's about taking small steps and growing slow. It doesn't become easy, but it gets easier. Yeah, so that is her fibroid story. And she is advising anyone that is going through fibroid out there, it doesn't get easy. You have to take steps bit by bit to encourage yourself, to help yourself go for that surgery. She said there are a lot of misinformation out there about fibroid. So be well informed, inform yourself about fibroid, about what you're going through. And if you've gone through it, seek therapy, go to a therapist, seek help. Like she said she doesn't like it when her friends ask her how she's doing when she comes from the doctor. So if that's what you want, say it, state what you want. My love to every lady out there fighting or going through fibroid. I hope this story helps. I hope this story brings you out of whatever it is you're going through. I need you people's ideas in the comments. Share your story. What else did you do through your fibroid journey? How did you recover? What did you do? Let other people learn. We learned from her story. Let's also learn from yours. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in my next video.